So this is my last word on all of this. I promise. I just wanted to talk about the copper and the lead and why it is dangerous that they're in the food. So the copper in itself is not as dangerous, I don't think. For one, it is something that is naturally occurring in the body. But in too many quantities, it leads to things like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. So it kind of makes you get it out of your body, which is good so you don't end up with a buildup like you would with lead. So some heavy metals, when we say lead, we're talking about a lead salt. So lead has mixed with something and it's become a salt. These heavy metals will build up in your body and gradually make you sicker and sicker and sicker until eventually they poison you to death. But the worst part about lead is that there aren't really any visible symptoms. So if you have it in smallish quantities, it's building up there, but you're not getting visible symptoms. You only see these symptoms, the pain, the constipation, nausea, learning disabilities, fatigue and loss of appetite, when you're getting quite close to being like dead. And there's not much you can do to get it out of the body. Once it's in there, it stays in there. There's a process called chelation which tries to take it out of the system, but I'm not sure how effective it is. And these lead salts, the reason that they were used extensively in paints in the sort of 1900s is because the salts have bright colors. So they lent a lot of different and unusual colors to the paints. And it's probably the same reason it ended up in the color dust, because it had a bright color. And somebody obviously was not aware of how dangerous that could be. And that's why we've now had to move away from lead paints, because those lead salts in there are dangerous, but they do lend a bright color to things. And all heavy metals are dangerous. That's the reason that we dispose of our batteries separately. We don't want them getting into landfill. So a battery might be sort of lead, cadmium, those are both heavy metals. If that gets into the water supply, it builds up through the food chain. So if a little fishy eats it and we eat the fishy, it doesn't go out of the fishy's body, it just goes straight into our body. The more fishies we eat, the more it builds up in our body until eventually it might reach a toxic level. Another example of a heavy metal is arsenic. So there we go. That's it. That's all you need to know about that. And if you want to go down another rabbit hole, go and check out the correlation between serial killers in the golden age of serial killers, Ted Bundy, that whole story, and the use of lead in fuel, and how basically we were just bathing ourselves in lead fumes and it created a whole generation of psychopaths. Like and follow for more.